It all started about 12 years ago with a library book. This was the Shell book of How Cars Work. I borrowed this book from the library, and when I read it, my immediate thought was that I must have this book. Although out of print, I got a copy from an online seller, ABE Books, and from then on it was probably the most valuable book in my collection. Not in any monetary sense, but to me it was a window into so many aspects of how a car worked that I've always been curious about. Then about 6 years ago, my wife and I were in Munich for a weekend break. We spotted a driving school window with a model car on display. I think it was a VVR model, and from that moment on I pretty much knew I had to have one. So I started searching the German small ads websites, and it wasn't long before I came across a number of models of petrol and diesel cylinders, which I bought and my sister-in-law collected for me. And then I hit the big time, a home model car from 1956, which I bought, and again my sister-in-law arranged a friend of hers to pick it up near Leipzig and store it till she got there some months later to bring it to her house. This is all during COVID lockdowns, so it was nearly a year later before my wife and we got to drive over and collected the model. Since then, I managed to get a few more smaller models, some of them posted to me, some of them posted to Germany, and the collection started to expand. Over a coffee one day in Clonakilty, my brother made the suggestion that I should organise a display corner in a coffee shop, and this idea germinated, and I found myself thinking more and more about it. After a few weeks, the museum idea took hold, and I managed to source a significant number of models. I did make a trip over to collect some of these models in August 2024, and I brought a Jeep load home, but I didn't actually pick everything up, so I was planning another trip. So while I was planning this second trip to the north of Germany, I also came across a number of larger models in the north of Italy and Austria, so a grand tour of Europe started to take shape. After a bit of route planning, I picked up additional models in the south of Germany on the way up from Austria to my brother-in-law's house, and thus the Grand Tour launched at the end of September 2024. The overall trip started on a Thursday morning in Cork, where I had to collect Anthony, my friend, who's helping me drive as far as Bergamo in Italy. We then headed up to Dublin to catch the ferry across to Holyhead in Wales, driving south to Folkestone in England for an overnight stay just next to where we'd go through the Channel Tunnel. On Friday morning then, we took the Channel Tunnel across to Calais in France. From there, it was a 12 to 13 hour drive through France, Switzerland, and into Italy to a place called Fara Olivana Consola, just south of Bergamo, where again we stayed the night. First thing Saturday was to collect the first large display, which was a full cutaway car on a rolling stand. Once that was loaded, then it was across the top of Italy towards Udine, near the Slovenian border, to collect a lighting display. On the way across, I dropped Anthony off just outside Verona to catch a train, and then continued just north of Venice towards Udine. After that, I headed north to Salzburg in Austria and about 2.5 hours east to Rapottenstein to collect a cutaway engine and gearbox, and I stayed the night there. Once I had that stuff loaded on Sunday morning, I took off for the south of Germany, passing Munich and Stuttgart, towards Gingen and der Vils to collect a VW engine in a display case. Once that was in the van, I headed then towards St. Leon Roth, which isn't too far from Heidelberg, where I stayed with a friend of mine on Sunday and Monday night, with just one collection in a place called Saarland on Monday, which was about 2 hours west of where I was staying. On Tuesday then, headed north, passing through Mönchengladbach and Lippstadt to pick up some smaller items, and then towards Haltern am See, which is roughly an hour north of Dortmund, to stay with my brother-in-law until Sunday morning. Right, here we are now, Thursday morning, 26th of September, off on our grand tour of Europe. Anthony is doing the first bit of driving, and we'll take note of his unironed shirt there, but you know, we won't say a whole lot more than that at the moment. So the plan is get up to Dublin first. Actually, we're just leaving Cork now. We're on the ring road, up the motorway to Dublin, across to Holyhead, on the ferry. We were originally on the fast ferry, but that's cancelled due to bad weather, so we're on the slow ferry that gets in about 6:30 in the evening, and then we've about a 6 or 7 hour drive down to Folkestone, right next to where the Euro tunnel crosses. Right, here we are. Leg one of the journey is done. You stop, will you? Playing up to the camera. In front of us there now is the ferry. Don't know what one it is, but it'll take about 4 hours to get across. Right, here we are, day 2 of the Grand European Tour. Today's journey involves us, we're in Folkestone at the moment, just about to go on the train inside in the Channel Tunnel. Anthony's wearing a fresh shirt, which is looking very unironed again. We'll have to talk about that. And after we get over to Calais, then our next destination that we hope to get to tonight is Fara Olivana Consola, which is just south of Bergamo in Italy. So our route will take us sort of north of Paris, down the east side of France, through Switzerland, and then into the sort of the north of Italy. So that's our plan for today. The sat nav is telling us it's about 12-hour drive. It's 9 o'clock now UK time, so we'll lose an hour as soon as we cross the channel, so that'll bring us to 10 o'clock. So roughly speaking, we should get in there at about 10 or 11 tonight, or that's the plan. So we'll see how it goes. way of update, it's 7 o'clock in the evening. Sat-nav is telling us that we've got another 5 hours of driving to go. The Alps are just out the left hand side, so we'll turn you over there, have a look out. You can see him over there. Anthony's driving, and I think we're about an hour or maybe 3/4 of an hour from the Swiss border. We're just at the bottom of France now, or sort of southeastern France. So things are going well. The weather has dried up significantly. We've about another hour of daylight, which makes travel much easier. Now, day 3. Here we are, parked outside the hotel in Bariano, about 10 minutes from the first pickup. That looks awfully like yesterday's shirt, Anthony. So we're going to have to organise his wardrobe a bit better.
We're going shopping.
Anyway, 10 minutes away is our first pickup. I messaged our man and he'll meet us earlier than originally planned, which is great. So that's our first pickup. That's a Fiat 1100 full car rig. And then after that, I'll drop Anthony off to Verona or someplace like that. He needs to catch a train down to Pisa. And I'm off to a place called Udine, which is on the eastern side of Italy, not far from the Slovenian border, to pick up a light board. And then after that, on to a place called Rapottenstein in Austria to pick up a cutaway engine. And the guy there has sort of generously let me spend the night, or he offered to let me spend the night, which is great. So here we are, off we go, and this is day 3.
Turn right onto Via Antonio de Curtis, then take the second right.
Right here? Antonio de Curtis, yes. Yeah.
Now I see why we didn't send an article to the truck.
Right, here we are, day 4. It's Sunday, just after midday. Collection went well in Rapottenstein in Austria last night. Stayed the night there with the guy who was selling the model, and left this morning at 8 o'clock. So making good progress now. I've crossed the border into Germany. Munich is about 150 kilometers ahead of me. Next stop is a place called Gingen an der Fils, to pick up a VW Boxer engine. After that then I have another hour and a half to go to, not too far from Heidelberg, where I'm staying with a friend for 2 nights then. But everything going well now. Lovely bright day today. It makes travelling just so much easier. Last night was particularly dark and wet getting into Rapottenstein, which is about an hour and a half north of Vienna. So everything going well, and we'll hope that it stays that way. So we'll fill you in tomorrow on day 5 of the Grand Tour. Now, good morning. This is day 6 of the big tour. I'm in a small town called Saint Leon Roth, where a friend of mine lives. So I stayed in a hotel near him for Sunday night and Monday night, and it's now Tuesday morning. Took yesterday off effectively. Did one collection of a small VVR 112. I'll just stick a photograph of that in there now, so you'll see what that's about. That was an easy collection, sort of about 2 hours there, 2 hours back from here, and my friend came with me for a bit of company, which is good. So this morning now, I'm off to a place called Mönchengladbach, where I must pick up a sign, and then on to another town called Haltern am See, which is where my brother-in-law lives, and I'll stay with him for a few days and a few collections to make around the area. And then on Friday, the two of us will go to Hamburg and collect a sort of a collection there of a home model car, a number of small home models, a traffic layout board, and a big lighting board as well. And then on Saturday, the last big collection is an air brake system from a place called Redden, which is about an hour west of Haltern am See. Haltern am See is maybe an hour north of Dortmund, roughly. So that's the plan. I'm just about to hit the road now. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. Pretty good. So fill up the van with diesel, find a coffee somewhere as well, very important. And from here to Munchen Gladbach is about 3.5, 4 hours thereabouts. So that's the story for today. Okay. Right, here we are on Friday the 4th of October, I think. This is day 8 of the Grand European Tour. And today, myself and Hugo are off to Hamburg via a place called Gütersloh. We'll pick up a cutaway VW gearbox in Gütersloh. And then on to Hamburg then to pick up a collection of models. So Hugo volunteered to drive. Well, to say volunteered, be strong. He mentioned it, and I jumped on it like a hawk on a titmouse. So much appreciated, Hugo. You know, and
my pleasure. Yeah.
So right. So over the course of the day, we'll log in again, or catch up again and see how things are going. About an hour and a quarter to Gütersloh, and then it's a good 3.5 hours drive from there to Hamburg, and then after that, I suppose, was it 5 hours home from Hamburg then, about, Hugo?
Yeah.
Just about that, yeah. So good long day ahead of us now with breaks and having to stop and load stuff and things like that. So major brownie point there for Hugo. Okay.
Super.
Right, here we are in Gütersloh at 20 to 12. Just picked up our VW model. It's a gearbox from a Beetle. So nice cutaway unit. Very nicely done, to be honest. And the handle there, that's the gear stick there effectively. So away we go now, off to Hamburg. Right, here we are. It's 4:15 on Friday 4th of October. We've done our Hamburg collection, so that's our collection of stuff in the back. Road traffic layouts, model cars, gearboxes, etc, etc. Hugo, how are you doing there?
Excellent. All
Good. Excellent. Only 4 hours now back to Hugo's house, and then we get to eat. I hadn't told Hugo that yet, but we'll get there. So all going well. Nice day up here in Hamburg, and hopefully the traffic isn't crazy now on the way home. So we'll talk to you later. Right, here we are, 1:30 on Saturday. Can't remember what day it is, but here's the van in it behind me. You can see it. And then we've managed to empty Hugo's garage and fill the van. And in fairness, fill the van we did. So this is what it looks like behind me. So theoretically, next stop Cherbourg when we open up. So we have quite a range of bits and pieces there now. Good load. I think Hugo's glad to get a lot of that stuff out of his garage. So all in all, a good morning. Close up the van now. I'm pretty much good to go then for tomorrow morning about maybe 12 o'clock, 11, 12 o'clock thereabouts. So all good. Right, here we are now, just about ready to pull out of Hugo's driveway, heading for Amiens, which is in the north of France. It's about halfway between here, Haltern am See, and Cherbourg Port. So we'll pull out on the road now, hit the road then, and about a 5 or 6 hour drive today, and then we should be okay after that then.
At the roundabout, take the first exit to Châtenois. A second lane from the left.
Now, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday. I don't even know what day it is. We'll check the phone. Right, good morning, everybody. Today is Monday, the 7th of October. I've just pulled out of the hotel in Amiens. Just stopped at a service station to fill up diesel and get a coffee, which wasn't great, now has to be said. The day is good. I have about a 4-hour drive now between here and Cherbourg, the port. The ferry is quite late in the day, about 6 o'clock in the evening, so I'll have to kill off a few hours there, but that's the way with these travels. You can never tighten them up as much as you can, and if you do, you run the risk of missing stuff then if there's any delays on the road. So that's just the way it goes. So the Grand European Tour is this is the last foreign leg of it. Up to the ferry. As soon as I get the ferry, then at 6 o'clock this evening, it gets into Rosslare at about 2 p.m. tomorrow, and then it's about 3.5 hour drive home down to Clonakilty and Cork. So it's Wednesday, the 9th of October. Been away for 13 days, and about an hour back to Cork now, where my Jeep is parked, and Anthony has a container ready to take the contents of the van. All of the collections are made. So doing okay. A bit of a grey day here. The crossing from Cherbourg to Rosslare was very, very lumpy, especially around the southwest coast now. We'll